Alright, hello everybody. It is Wednesday, May 29th, a little after 9 o'clock. What we're going to do today is the midweek update, and we're going to take a look at what we expected this week as far as the market and what I'm kind of looking at going forward, because we're in a very weird place going into tomorrow, in my opinion. First and foremost, we had a 166 target on the SPY. That did break. We had a gap up on Tuesday, ended up seeing into the 167s, almost 168, and then everything kind of spiraled out of control. And we do have a change in trend now. Actually, this isn't any good. I've seen a whole lot of things that aren't going to make sense to you. There we go, that's better. We did have a change in trend today on Wednesday, and we saw some more selling after a nice recovery from last week, which kind of puts us in a little bit of an ominous position. Real quick, I'm going to add this vortex indicator. I do like it. It's a little bit of a lagger, but it does do some nice things from time to time. We're in a really weird place here on the SPY. Everything really says down, and yet you have this Goldman Sachs that's just rip-roaring every chance it gets. Today we actually tweeted out about last night we tweeted out about the 165 calls that we liked, and those were actually a 550% play. I had a fill at 0.2, but it was right off the opening break. Usually I don't like to do that, so I held off. Figured it would trickle lower. It didn't. It just ended up ripping all morning and then sat around. The 165 contract never broke 0.5 the rest of the day. Then it ended up running to over $1, which sucks for me, but it was a great play for those of you who were able to catch it. So now, as I mentioned in the last couple of videos, this Goldman Sachs has really been leading the market and dictating what's been going on. It plays a huge part in the market as far as how it's weighted in the SPY, and this thing just wants to continue to go higher. But that leads the question, as you look over my watch list over here, you got a lot of red in the techs. Techs seem to be busted. The banks held up pretty strong today, and everything else was kind of in between. The casinos were red, solars were green, and then Tesla was a great short today as well. So, what could be happening is something that we've talked about in a couple of videos now, is my sector rotation theory. That they hold back a sector, make a sector look bearish, only to come back and rip it and give the market more juice to pull the market up. Now, if that's what's going on right now, these techs are what they're doing it to. So, as these banks and credit cards start to lose their steam, if I'm right, these techs should start to pick up. But we do have a very real scenario that this SPY could go red tomorrow. I'm not expecting it. I thought we closed pretty damn well today, considering what the trading looked like. So I'm kind of expecting a green day tomorrow. I think we'll go back, test those 167 levels, and then kind of see where we're at for the rest of the week. So what I'm looking at is what's got the most steam going in tomorrow. Obviously, this Goldman Sachs. Huge Momo, huge steam. There was a buyer. Even when we were at these lows, they were holding it up from going any further. And then if you take a look at these calls here, right now they closed at 56 and 61. Tomorrow they should open around 40. If we do get a move, I do expect, if we're bullish tomorrow on the SPY, I expect this high of 164 to break, and to see a nice continuation there. We had a high of 164.13 before probably a 1.5 almost pullback, but that kind of coincided with what the SPY was doing today, which makes sense. The SPY overall held up uh, pretty bullishly, I guess, all things considered. Um, but we do have that possibility of weakness. Now, tomorrow we have GDP numbers. GDP numbers are kind of the elephant in the room right now. It seems like it could be a great setup to fade off open, fade into the GDP numbers, and then rip from there on the market. If that's the case, then we're going to go pretty big. We'll get a nice move down to the probably 164s. Maybe we'll test today's low, which was 164.34. I don't expect that to break. If that does break, however, I can't, in all likelihood, go long unless I just see some really weird stuff on the tape there. If we do break that, obviously the next assumed position would be a short to the 163.94. If that falters, then in all likelihood we're probably going back down to 162s. But that's just hearsay right now. It's just something I'm thinking about. What I'm probably looking to do tomorrow, as far as positions, if we are bullish, I will likely hope and pray that this Goldman Sachs does get a little fade so I can pick up these 165 calls real cheap. I'd love to get them sub 20 again in expectation of a move up. So that would be my first play. If we are bearish tomorrow and the GDP numbers come back bad, I'm probably going to look to grab these LinkedIn 160s. Huge potential there for sure. They should open around 10 cents. If that's the case, I'll buy probably a couple $100 worth of them just to have some sort of position. This thing is very, very much bearish. Tested lows today, did reject them. However, if we are bearish overall tomorrow, you can expect a move towards this gap. Probably not all in one day. LinkedIn doesn't usually pull a huge down day, but I mean, if we are bearish tomorrow, those puts should pay out quite nicely. Side note, this Visa sucked me in today. I was expecting some more juice there. Didn't get it. Ended up getting hit pretty damn hard on those calls I played. We got this Google trickling lower. Priceline had after hours news. Didn't really seem to affect it. That too is kind of trickling lower. With Google, seems like a lot of money's been pulled out of that. Netflix had another low today. That thing just fell off, but this kind of coincides with what we were talking about, right? In this 205 or 200 to 217 channel should prove to be some solid support. That's actually more along the lines of like 205 to 215, but so far so good. If it does break into the 210s, then I would kind of assume that in coming weeks we'll see a move down to cover that gap. I'm overall still bullish this Netflix, but that's just something to keep in mind. What else do we got tonight? Just these banks, really. These banks held up pretty damn well. I really wouldn't look to short the financial sector if we are bearish tomorrow, to be honest. I'm kind of leaning towards them as my long candidate. A lot of steam there, a lot of support there, and as we've seen today with this Goldman Sachs, when the market's ripping, they're ripping as well, and then they're going pretty damn hard. But that's really all I got for you guys tonight. I'm gonna do a blog post, and then I'll probably do some reading. But try and stay solvent, stay out of trouble, and I will see you guys in the morning.